Oh my gosh. Hello. How's the volume? How's the music? How's the music volume? How's Tuesday? Is it only Tuesday? My God. Let's see. What are we doing? What are we doing? Hello. I'm a mess. I don't care. Deal with it. I'm still kind of eating. I promise I'll try not to eat in the mic. I have so many thoughts in my head right now. I just broke my blush. I was putting on a little extra blush and it just smashed. All the pieces fell out in the sink. I made these chicken lumpia in the air fryer. My thoughts are chicken lumpia is a waste because it's not as good as pork lumpia, but I'm trying not to eat pork. Other thoughts that are racing through my head. This chili, it's chili oil and garlic with almonds that I got from SNB off Amazon is, I swear, a drug. It is so addictive and so good, and I can't stop putting it on everything. And I'm sure it's unhealthy, and I'm not letting myself look because I don't want to know. Other thoughts. Sandwich won't eat her food. We're stressing. That's the only reason we're running late. We can get her to eat her dog food. She doesn't like dog food anymore. She did get a Hot Links sausage that fell off a table at work. She loved it. Other thoughts that are going on in my head. I want to draw, but I want to relax at the same time. She is such a snob. I'm gonna have to start getting her wet dog food, I think. Which I don't want to do, but because then pizza will be sad, so I'll have to get it for him too. So it is what it is. Let me get caught up on chat. Oh. Do I call you kid or do I call you? I don't know what I call you. Your name's public though, right? I always forget what you want me to call you publicly. But I'm sorry he has a dentist appointment. That sucks. Dentist appointments are like the worst thing in the world, honestly. Good music. Thanks, child. This is the playlist that Max uses for the stream. We just play it while we draw art because it's very chill. You like to call Nina KK? See, I don't ever want to call anyone KK because you're only 1K from that being an accidental typo or mistake that I don't want to deal with. Innate meerkat, you're super rusty. That's okay. That's how I am too. Even when I'm rusty at something, I always want to do like the hardest thing first, right? Like that's where my brain goes. It's like, I could sew a simple skirt, or what about a dress with all these pleats? And you know, it's just like, that's the way it does. 1K away from a Twitter thread. Oh my God, that was my other thought. Open my email. And if you have to send an email where your name in the name column shows up as X and then in parentheses, formerly Twitter, you're just bad. You're just bad at branding. You're bad at your job. Why did anyone let him do that? It's so stupid. Banana? Hello? He's just rolling around on the bed behind me. I don't know. What are you doing, bud? You bored? Yeah, he's bored. He wants me to play with him and I can't. I'm sorry. I have a lot of thoughts about art that we're going to talk about today, too. I should ping Chinner. I know he wanted to be here. We can talk about, do we want to talk about art? Do we want to talk about, so if you missed it, we talked about some stuff on yesterday's stream, which is the podcast stream. We're going to kind of continue that conversation a little bit. We can talk about other things too. I know Chinner wanted to talk about like inspiration, and someone brought up a really good point of talking about like fan art, which is really interesting. And then I did something interesting last night, which I'll tell you guys here in a bit. And then we can also just talk about, we can help Meerkat get started on your drawing. I think the hardest part when you're wanting to do something really complex is that it can be, it can be easier to do something simpler first as practice, but your brain's not going to enjoy it. So I don't actually recommend that. I say just do the thing, and if it doesn't turn out, then you can take a break from it and try it again tomorrow. Like, it doesn't really matter, because you'll still learn from the process, even if it doesn't turn out good or like how you want. So you should still attempt it. Using a 3D model is really good. Yeah. And then finding reference poses. I really like, I'll just do a shout out for them because I don't mind. They used to be called Senshi stock, like Sailor Senshi, but I think they changed the name actually. Now I'd have to look it up. But there's a couple of different people out there that are independent businesses putting out poses for artists to use online specifically. We'll check one of those. Don't use AI to generate your poses. And then you can also pose yourself. Go get your phone and just go do like a really awkward pose. It doesn't have to be a good pose. It's about just being able to see the way the shapes are made, right? It's not about drawing yourself. It's just about seeing the perspective and how the shapes are made. I bought a little, I don't think I have it here. I bought a little tiny tripod for my phone for the specific purpose. So I can like put it up on a higher surface or like down below and then tilt the phone. And it's a really good way to just do a quick setup. They're like little tiny things you can buy on Amazon for super cheap. Just look up like cell phone tripod, right? And then another good thing to do is don't take pictures, do a video. So put the video on and then do the pose and move around. And then you can pause the video on the scenes that are helpful. So you'll actually see the movement too, which is really helpful. Elon is literally obsessed with the letter X. Elon wanted Tesla changed to X, but they said, hey, no, they'll think it's a not safe for work site. He's an idiot. I don't know why people think he's smart. I don't know why anybody ever thought he was smart. Yeah. I think for the mermaid and centaur debate, you have to look at other animals that wouldn't normally apply to the situation, because it's not about how the two animals they come from work. It's about the weird things that nature can do. SpaceX. Yeah, they just wanted to call it X. That's funny. Chicken Joe, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. But you were saying, like, how do they have two rib cages? And I would say, what if it's just one rib cage that keeps going? Look at like snakes. What if it's just like one rib cage that goes the horse and then up? I don't know. There's lots of weird creatures in this world that exist that like you have to think about how that applies. If you want to know what we're talking about, we were in the Discord and people were talking about what does the inside of a centaur look like, right? Like how does that work? I'm good. How are you, Chicken Joe? We're about to draw some art, but I'm just chilling and we're just chatting for now. We're just chatting. Very chill stream because I've had a very hard day. Hopefully you all are having better days. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's day going so far? I see. I don't mean it's like a snake. I'm just saying there are different rib cages in the world that you need to consider. Does that make sense? What do pants on a centaur look like? I mean, obviously you can just wear 2 sets of pants. Why not? Trying to get back into making a D&D character. Do you mean making them, building a new character, doing the art, making them in D&D Beyond? We love making new characters here. It's mostly what we do. We just do the art for them too. Why would a centaur wear pants? That's a good point, I see. Like if you did, okay, let's put it this way. If you didn't have to wear pants, like there was no need for you to wear pants, would you wear pants? I probably wouldn't. Making your first character. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. You do somewhat plan on getting it drawn later. I totally recommend it, especially if you want to commission an artist. There's so many artists out there that would love to draw your character for you. Hi, Nina. Is Nina okay? I keep saying that and I keep forgetting. I just said it, so like, I guess it's okay now. I live very solidly in the ask for forgiveness, not permission camp of life. Sorry, I'm trying not to kill you all with my chomping and munching of food. You were somewhat doing a Kenku character, but honestly not too sure on what class, but I don't know. Are you planning to stick with the Kenku, like kind of archetype where they can only speak in repeating what other people have said? It's fine if that's what you want to do, but I would not recommend that if it's your first character. Just my personal opinion. You can totally ignore me. I just don't always like when people do that. I don't think people usually pull it off very well. It causes more problems than it's worth. But I do like Kenku otherwise. Yeah. This character is kind of a Kenku. They're kind of a Aarakocra thing. I don't really know what they are. They're their own race that the DM in my campaign made up. Your headphones are working. I mean... Maybe not, but you're not too sure since it's your first character. Yeah. There's so many artists out there, like, don't feel, and you don't have to limit yourself. If you get some drawn and then you change your mind later, you can get another one drawn. There's always artists that need work. It's funny, the more you think of it, the creature you're drawing is actually an old drawing you did back in middle school of rushed homebrew race of like cave dwellers that didn't go far past the dawdle phase. Oh, interesting, Meerkat. I love revisiting old ideas and then reinterpreting them with the wisdom you have gained since then in life. Does that make sense? I actually really want to draw. I don't know if I would do this on this stream. It's not really D&D related, but maybe that doesn't matter. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should only do D&D content on the stream? Or do we care? Do you just want art? And we can talk about D&D while I draw it. I've been thinking about grabbing some of my old sketches and just like redrawing them. Like from when I was a little kid, right? I don't know. Max has given me conflicting information, so whatever. I think for class, do you want suggestions? Because a lot of people here in the chat play D&D and we're happy to help. Or do you have any ideas that you're thinking of and you're just having trouble deciding, or you're just feeling it out? That's okay too. No pressure. We did do a stream. We had a podcast stream on Tome of Knowledge, which is our Monday night podcast stream that we did yesterday. There was an episode they did on classes, and like they talked about like for a new player, like what they would pick, like if they had to pick any class to tell a new player to play, what they would do, kind of thing. They did talk about that. I don't remember which one it was, but if you want to hear what they had to say, it's on YouTube and you can go and check it out, the recording. And it's also anywhere you can get podcasts, but I just don't remember which one it was in. I'm sorry. I just know they talked about it. Sweet Totoro Tori, hello. Hulk smash himbo. Who doesn't want to be a himbo? Let's be honest. I want to be a Mojo Dojo himbo in D&D. I'm not doing commissions right now. I'm sorry. I love doing commissions of people's characters so much, but it's an extra level of stress that I just can't deal with right now because I have a full-time job. I work full-time and then do this in my free time. And I also play D&D and have 10 million hobbies and 2 dogs. And I like to see Max sometimes. I promised him I'd play Baldur's Gate with him at some point. Oh yeah, pals. Yay. I'm gonna be playing it after stream probably, just to like relax before bed. Too busy with work and being a nerd. My life story. Throw some ADHD in there and just some general exhaustion and that's me. It's honestly very understandable. I do want to open up commissions again. I do have a couple people that are already on the list if I open them up. So just as a heads up, but I do want to open them up again at some point. That being said, don't wait on me. There are so many good artists out there. And if you go to like Reddit, is a really good place to look up D&D character artists because there's people that will like share the character art they got commissioned, or people will be posting looking for artists and stuff. That perfect place to go. Oh, Nina. Leaving tonight, big sad. And yeah, as far as classes, I think the barbarian suggestion is always fun. It's always fun to play a barbarian. They're really easy to play in my opinion. I think it depends what you want out of your character. Like there's a couple classes that I think are easier than others, right? I would recommend really thinking on it if you want to be a magic caster, because I did not find magic casters very easy to understand when I first started playing D&D, and I struggled with it for a long time, and now I like them. But it's definitely something that I would say, unless you're really, really into that, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, just make sure that's what you want, right? It's a lot to manage spells. I think Druid's pretty easy, honestly. They do have a lot of spells, and you do have to choose the spells, but at least you don't have to choose them. At least you can change them out, right? I think Fighter is easy, but I also think Fighter is a little boring for me personally, but some people love it. I think Rogue's fine, but I think Rogue can get a little complicated, but if you really like doing damage, they're definitely a good one. Bard is really fun. I don't think they're very stressful. They're a little more, what's the word? You guys, my brain is just done. Hi Zeus, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, 35 months? I feel so old. So many months. Yeah, if you want to show your drawings, you can't share links here in the chat, but throw them into Discord channel in the art share channel. And if you want, the thing to know about the channel is if you want advice and feedback, you have to specifically ask for it. And if someone doesn't specifically ask for it, try not to give it unless you know them and you know they want it. Like, we need to be very, very mindful and polite because drawing is hard. It is so much work, and everybody's at a different like point in their artistic journey. And sometimes they don't need to feel the feedback. They just want to put it out there, and that's okay too. So just be mindful of that, but feel free to post it. Ask for feedback if you want it, ask for critique if you want it, and always be respectful and constructive with your criticism. That's the other rule. So just as a heads up, because I'll come in there and banhammer people if they're being rude about other people's art. I'll get on you so fast. I don't think anyone here would do that, but I really like Warlock. I'm super biased. I do not like Sorcerer, so it just depends. Different things are easier for different people. It just depends. I like Bard because I like being able to do a little bit of everything, like a little bit of damage, a little bit of healing, a little bit of utility. I feel like they cover the base. Clerics are good if you like. I think clerics are pretty solid and simple, but I do think that they were hard for me because of like picking my spells, and like I just like the spells were too much for me when I made one the first time. It was like a lot, so it's a little hard. A living bomb creature thing into an enemy. I'm definitely gonna play it, but I'm not playing it yet. I'm just kind of like waiting. Let me eat one more bite of this food and then we're gonna start drawing. Maybe. Maybe. I'm eating some not very good lumpia that I cooked in the air fryer. They're kind of sad. I had rice too. The rice was good with chili garlic oil. Oh, it's not? Chick, what is it not on? It's not on console? Or do you mean like Switch? I don't know. I don't even know what it's on, honestly. That's the other thing too. PS4, okay. Yeah. It can be hard. Is it gonna come to PS4? Does anybody know? Do you think the hardest thing about picking your first class is knowing what you want out of the game? Because you may not know that just starting out. But I would say if you really like to be like min-max and build the most optimum builds, like in video games or whatever, that's something that you should consider. If you like to do a lot of role play and you're more interested in like the themes of the characters and the fantasy of it, that's like a different direction you can go in. If you, it did say it won't be on it. Oh, that's a bummer. It's supposed to be a really good game, but yeah, I haven't played it yet. I need Max. Max, do you want to eat this? The pizza was like, I want to eat it. Oh, thanks, bud. Bard, but also somewhat a rogue. There are some rogue and bard subclasses that I think have some good, like, maybe meet in the middle of those two classes that you could look into. I don't remember them well enough right now to tell you, but people in chat might know. Okay, let's draw. Let's do some drawing while we talk about art, because we're going to talk about art today. We're going to talk about a couple different things. We have some topics. This is mostly gonna be a chatting stream about art because people were asking a lot of questions. And I was like, yeah, we can talk about that, but we're gonna try and finish this piece while we do it. So the thing that we're talking about is we had a stream yesterday on the podcast last night talking about AI art and how it relates. Sorry, not AI art, generative AI and how it relates to art in D&D. It's a lot of topics. It was like a really hard topic to do in one episode. We barely scratched the surface. But we had some questions that came up out of that I was like, yeah, we'll just follow up on that tomorrow because I have opinions, I have thoughts. I'm not saying I'm an expert or that I'm right on any of this, so we'll just chat about it. Super casual. I'm trying to get Max to come take my dinner so I don't have to get up, but I might have to get up since it's in my way. Pizza, don't lick your paws, bud. I remember the question you had, Jenner. It's okay. Bard College of Whispers. Yeah, it is a bit of both. That's the one. Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I think those are fairly user-friendly, like first classes. I don't think any of them are perfectly easy. It just depends how you build them. So, you know. Hot take. AI art is okay if you use it to help you draw, like gives you a base and you transform it in your own way. If you make AI art and just post it, then you kind of just feels weird, man. Yeah, when I see people just posting AI art that they just like generated and then they call themselves like an AI artist, I'm just like, I can't even with you. Can't. But we're gonna get into that. If you want to see what we talked about on all this yesterday, the episode is going to go on YouTube and on all your podcasting services, so you can check it out. Worse is if they claim it is handmade. That's just lying, right? That's as bad as just stealing someone else's art on the internet and saying you drew it. It's like you didn't do anything, right? That's also a great idea, Chicken. Yeah, just ask some of the employees. I'm sure they'd love it. People who like D&D love to talk about D&D. Trust me. So like, always just ask people if they have advice and be prepared to not always take all the advice. Like, you know, everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. So I'm checking out the art in the channel. Very creepy, very cool. Definitely go and join the Discord if you're not in there. And if you like to draw or you like to share art that you do find on the internet, we have channels where you can share that stuff. So yeah, there's lots of people. And like I said, Reddit's always a really good source too. You can even post like, I'm a brand new player and this is my first game and I'm making a new character. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. Do you have any advice? Like those are the people will totally help you out. It's one of the good things about the internet, right? It's not always a good place, but sometimes. E-Rock, eye color is super important. That's true. Eye color is very important. Everybody knows this. It's a fact. For those that aren't familiar with our game, our DM has a special rule where if you need to bring a player back to life, usually you would use like a diamond, I think, but he lets you use other stones if they match the eye color of the person who died, which is really cool. Really fun. Okay, let me just finish. I have this like fancy lemonade. Let me just finish this real quick. I didn't have time to grab a cup. I just grabbed it. It's that kind of day. It's that kind of day. So we actually did a lot of work on this. This is Captain Blackbeak, and she's almost done. We're just gonna do a little bit more, like we're gonna clean up the lines and then we'll clean up the colors and then we'll do an overpaint. So we're like pretty close to being done. We're gonna just kind of go really slow. My hand's not feeling great today, so we're just gonna take it easy. I mean, if that's what you're good at and that's what you want to draw, then that's fine. If you want to draw other things, then you could work on drawing other things, but you don't have to. There's no rules about this stuff. That was, oh yeah, will you eat these? I didn't, there's more in the air fryer too. You listening to me there or here? Both? Here, say hi. You're just a hand. Like a D&D class.
Artificer.
I was hoping he'd say something easy. He picked Artificer, which is like not what I would recommend to a new player, but he didn't know the context. So. Bye. Oh, Nina. No, Artificers are great. They're just, I think they can be a little challenging if you're not familiar with the system, but I think you're doing great. We just need to get you need to start crafting all your things. That's the hard part. You have to remember to do all that stuff. It's like an extra layer, right? Yeah, a lot of moving parts. So one of the things that came up yesterday in our chat was basically, how do you sorry, I'm having issues. This whole stream should be labeled Bun is having issues. That's the stream name now. Okay, so you could say fighter or barbarian. Yeah, I think barbarian would be fun. Bun.exe, no worky. Yes, how my brain feels right now. I would, if it were me, I would say druid, barbarian, Bard. Rogue? I don't know. I haven't played a rogue in a long time, so it's hard for me to think through that choice. I would avoid wizard and sorcerer, just because managing spells and spell slots and spell points can be like a lot. And if you want to be a caster, just go cleric. That's me. Or warlock, because I do think warlock's easier, but I also think if you're in a really RP heavy game and you really want your warlock's RP to be a big thing, that can be pretty challenging for a new person as well. So it kind of depends on the game. The system cannot find the path specified. From the launcher, Tori? I wish I was just streaming Polya right now. Do you guys want me to should I just stream it? We'll pretend it's D&D. Hey, whatever your heart tells you. Yeah. That's good advice. That's Max chiming in, and he's totally right. It's most important to like what you're playing. So if you have your heart set on playing something when everyone's like, it's really hard, just play it anyways. You'll figure it out. Totally fine. My music is a smidge too loud, Max. How's that? Is that better? I can hardly hear it on my end, so hopefully that's okay. Zealot barbarian. What about a barbarian? No, don't. That would be, but that's actually my only advice. My only advice for a new player: do not multi-class your first character. Just don't do it. It's just, you're just making life harder for yourself, and there's no reason. And yeah, usually you'll have someone in the game that's going to help out. A barbarian rogue. I think that'd be fun. Do it. Play it. Make it. Let's make a character. Yeah. It'd be hard to build, but people would do it. People have done it. People will do it. Okay, let's talk. I know this is D&D, but I did promise we'd talk about art specifically tonight. So we're gonna get back to that. 1 meal a day. What are we talking about? I feel like I missed something important, but I'm too slow and tired to figure it out, so. Oh man. Barbarians only need 1 meal a day. Unarmored. Yeah, you definitely used the wrong. I don't know what's happening. It's fine. Whatever, it's fine. How's the music? Is the music okay now? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start tracing over the line work here. Shoot. That's what I wanna do. I'm gonna throw this into a folder. We're just gonna... Max, did you have any notes on her before I start doing the line work? MAD is the acronym? What does MAD mean? Oh my god, I'm multiple ability dependent. SAD, single ability dependent. I don't know. You guys are gonna see, this is where I say, just play what you want to play, man. It doesn't have to be optimal. Just play it and have fun. Talk to your DM. Make sure it's gonna work. It's fine. It's fine. Just do what you want to do. Just in life, do what you want to do. So, okay, art. So interestingly, we were talking about AI art and how a lot of artists do use it for inspiration. I actually watched a really good video of another artist who's exploring Midjourney, which we're going to talk more about Midjourney in a minute. And he had artist friends that use it, and they specifically use it for inspiration. So there are artists out there, we were talking about artists that'll use it to like finish their piece, or they'll use AI to make a piece and then say it's theirs, or they'll make a piece and just like barely change it. But this is a different world of talking about using AI specifically as inspiration to give you some ideas that you might not have otherwise thought of for the piece you're going to be working on. But you're not drawing, you're not taking their piece and one-to-oneing it, copying it, but you're using that to inspire the piece you're going to do. And it helps you in helping you explore tweaking that and seeing what looks right, right? So naked himbo fantasy. So I thought that was a really interesting point to bring up from an artist perspective. And it relates to Chinner's question that Chinner asked yesterday and then forgot, which was, how do you feel about artists who are inspired by other artists, and more specifically, if they're inspired by a single specific artist? And then that also leads into the conversation of, what about if you copy someone's style, and what is style? So this is a lot of things that we can talk about. So I don't even know where to start, really, because it's a lot. And I do have a fancy degree in fine art, and I've been a working artist, both commercial, freelance, and whatever. I've kind of done a little bit of it all. So it's something that I at least do have informed opinions on, but I would never argue that I'm an expert or any sort of, like, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. That's great. Don't worry about it. It's just my opinions, you know? They've drawn before at least once. I did draw this, so at least once. At least once. Hi, Nicole. You can be the Burb Pirate. Max, can Nicole be Blackbeak? So we're just going through and kind of tracing over our line work to get the final cleaner line work. Goal being to make it kind of look as close as we can to what we already had, but just a little bit cleaner. You can draw stick figures. Hey, everybody starts somewhere. Stick figures is better than nothing. It's not pretty enough. So like a person who is a Miyazaki fan and copies the art style and sells it publicly. So there's two different things to talk about there. Oh, you'd say that's, yeah, to the AI thing you said it's fair, considering that's effectively what a lot of artists already do with reference photos. Let's come back to the AI stuff in a minute. So let's focus on artists that use other artists for reference. There's two things there. You're using lots of other artists for reference. You're saying, I like this artist style, I like this artist style, I like this art style. And you're going to look at their art all the time. And you're going to look at the things they do and the techniques they use and the color palettes they use. And you're going to take that and it's going to inspire your own pieces. That's great. Everyone should be doing that. Every artist's career was built on the backs of artists that came before them. And I don't think most artists would ever have any problem with like that. It would be meaningful to them to have that sort of legacy and inspire more artists. Not everybody, most of them. Max, can you turn your fan off or close the door? I don't think they can hear it, but I can hear it, and it's throwing me off. Thank you. Yeah, it's feedback on my end, but if I can't hear myself talk, that's the only way to get rid of the fan noise, then it can be hard for me to do this. I'm not explaining. Streaming is not my... I can draw. Streaming, I don't know. That is not my forte. That's why Max helps me out so much. So... Okay, no, you can turn it back on if you want to close my door. I just was struggling to focus. I have very bad focus issues, so if there's anything else distracting me, sometimes I can barely hear themselves not think, head empty. Is that me right now? Yeah, kind of. So if you're getting inspired by other artists, I think that's always a good thing. Now, let's say you're getting inspired by only one artist. You said Miyazaki. So let's say Miyazaki is the only artist that you're inspired by. You don't really look at other art on the internet. You just look at Miyazaki art, watch Miyazaki movies, do your own art and put it out there. If you're drawing art in the style of Miyazaki, but you're not tracing it and you're not one for one copying it, but it is influencing your own style, I don't really find that much problem with that either. There are plenty of artists that take direct inspiration from someone's art who they love. I would argue that a good artist is going to take that and merge it with their own choices and decision making, which is what would separate this from the AI conversation. A person is going to look at a piece of art and say, I like the way they drew this eye shape. I like the way they did this texture. I like the color palettes, and they're going to take that and interpret it in their own way on paper. And AI is going to take that and mathematically interpret it as close as it can. It's not making human decisions. It's making decisions based on math that someone programmed it to do. And those decisions will thusly be biased, and they will not be creative. And by creative, I mean a person can say, make a decision one time and make the opposite decision another time, because it works right in that instance. So it's different. But that being said, if you're just working in one artist style that's not your own style, I just don't think that's very great. I would never like begrudge anyone if that's what they're comfortable doing, but I would say that you're not living to your fullest potential as an artist, potentially. However, if you say, I want to draw like Miyazaki plus, and you take that and then you add your own twist onto it, that's fine. Who cares? Like, you're doing your thing. Now, let's go back to copying and fan art. If you're one for one drawing exactly what they drew, the exact thing, and you're drawing Totoro, a character you did not make, and then you're putting that out there and saying you made it, maybe you changed one little thing, that's a totally different story. And then an even different story, which I would say that's not necessarily okay, but then that also brings up the messy topic of fan art. So how do you talk about fan art when we've already talked about all these other issues with AI, generative art, inspiration, copying another artist's style, and then you add IP and legal issues into the mix, right? To me, that is a legal issue that if you are a fan art artist, you need to be prepared to deal with the consequences of. You don't own that character, you didn't create it, and if you're going to draw them in a way that the original creator does not like, I think they do have a right to say something. That said, art, and this is a big thing if you start studying the legal history of art, there's some really interesting court cases and pieces that you can study about this. And a lot of this has come up with photography as well. But a good way to think of it is art is transformative. So what makes something art versus a copy is you're being transformative, is you are adding something into it. You're changing something. You're using part of your wisdom, your brain, your skill set, your knowledge, your life experience to transform it in a way that someone else might not. So if you draw, example, a pizza chew, that would be considered transformative. You're not just drawing pictures of Pikachu and saying, this is my character Pikachu. You're saying, I'm drawing Pikachu as a slice of pizza. It's a pizza chew. And I'm making a statement about how much I love pizzas and Pikachus. It's transformative. And to me, that makes it okay, but it is still, to me, it makes it morally okay, but it is still going to fall into a legal gray area that is going to err more in the side of the company because honestly, they have the money. And then you also have issues of making transformative art that is kind of libelous. So for example, a lot of smut artists have to be careful that they don't draw an established IP character, try to sell it, because if you're drawing Mickey Mouse doing something inappropriate, Disney's really not going to like that. So it's something you have to be mindful of because you did not create that character, and you need to be mindful of what you were doing to make it transformative and how you're going to present it and where you're going to put it and how you're going to profit from it. Because I think it comes down to profit a lot of the time. If you're like, I'm going to go spray paint Mickey Mouse on a subway wall and make a statement about capitalism in America, that's one thing. But if you're just going to draw pictures of Mickey doing something lewd and then selling it, that's like an extra level of worse, right? It's Michelangelo Mouse. This isn't Mickey. Yeah, and there's also things that people who are smart when they do fan art, not only do they make it transformative, they are very careful about how close it looks. So I can draw Mickey right now, right? Is this Mickey? No. Is this Mickey? No. Is that Mickey? Almost, but it's technically not. So you can see where there's like a scale here of how direct of a reference you're making to the thing and how you can keep it legally distinct enough but still getting the idea across to the viewer. But again, I think a lot of that is not a moral issue. I think it's just a money issue, and you just need to decide for you personally how much risk you want to put yourself in. When fan artists get cease and desist, I feel for them, because I don't think what they're doing is necessarily morally wrong, but based on the laws and the system we have, I can see why it's wrong. And you have to realize that those laws are there for good reasons too. It keeps someone from taking, say I'm a small creator and I create a character, it also keeps a big company from taking my character and stealing it. So you have to realize that the laws do protect people, and you may want it to protect you someday. So it's hard. It's a hard thing to talk about because it's not an easy answer, right? Now, there are a lot of fan arts, and I've bought fan art. I have like Sailor Moon fan art. I have like lots of fan art that does this, and you buy it at conventions and you buy it all over the place. One of my favorites is an artist who does, she had this amazing piece that was the Great Wave, the Japanese woodblock ukiyo print, where ukiyo, and it's the wave. And she put like a Gyarados, the Pokemon, fish Pokemon in it. Beautiful, beautiful piece of art. But it's not something that if I invented Pokemon, it would upset me. And I think that's a smart place to be in as a fan artist. You're not really trying to like upset anyone. You're just trying to make beautiful art with IPs that people love. And I think the companies are in the right to not approve of that based on the laws we have. And you just have to decide, like, morally and financially, are you okay with that? And as a consumer, are you okay with that? I think it's your money and it's your ethics. You just have to decide. But ethics aren't an easy thing. Like, it's not, because again, like say an artist did that using an IP of another artist that was on the same level as them. Does that feel good then? It's almost like there's a hierarchy. And it's like comedy to me. I think comedians should always be able to make comedy about whatever they want, but I think they need to always be punching up and never punching down. There was a comedian that made some comments about like trans individuals, and I think like if you're not a trans individual and you have more societal power than a trans person, then you're punching down when you make those jokes, right? So I think that's always a good way to look at art too. If you're drawing Mickey Mouse or Sailor Moon or Little Mermaid, you're punching up. If you're drawing characters that your friend made, but you have a bigger Instagram following, that's not okay. Why is the music? I can't hear it at all now. Can you guys hear the music? Or is this that one song that just like doesn't sound like anything? I can't have no music. It feels too empty in my head. Okay, can you guys hear that? It's probably better. Tori, I had some issues with installing Pilia if you're going through any type of weird internet connection. Like if your internet is weird or you have any weird like firewalls or anything like that, you might have some issues. And I would say if you're having issues, but you're not like really sure what's causing it, but you think it is that, I was able to, because I was having issues downloading it at work for other reasons, but I just used my phone hotspot once to get an update and it worked fine. But their launcher does not like it when it runs into any kind of like walls. So just as a heads up. It's a bunch of randomly placed circles. Exactly. Chinner, did that answer some of your questions? I don't know that we covered I don't know if I did that justice. So let me know if you still have questions about that, or if anybody has thoughts, opinions, ideas, more questions. happy to go into it more. Yeah, and I think that's the right way to do it. Is it's going to be different for every artist. People's opinions are going to change, and they're going to change again, and the industry is going to change and change again. So there's not always going to be right and wrong answers, and that's okay too. And we can talk about the AI stuff too here in a minute, because I do have something interesting to bring up for that. Oh, geez, Nicole. Okay, she's making me read. I mean, she's a librarian, of course she's making me read. No, it's okay. All I know is I got Bun's permission to steal characters and buy fan art, and if I go to jail, I'll direct them to you. Yep, that's right. I'm your attorney, Village. I'm your attorney now. Good luck. No, it's okay, Nicole. I love you too. Okay. There's a weird thing with fiber arts in that you can buy a pattern and then make the thing for yourself or as a gift for others, but if you tried to sell it on Etsy, it's a big no-no, even if you credit the designer. However, if someone commissions you to make that specific pattern, it's okay. Like they don't know how to knit and are willing to pay you to make the thing for them because you do know how to knit. That's fine. Interesting. Okay, I have noticed a lot of drama in the fiber arts community that I haven't really been following because I'm not really, I'm tangential to that community. You have to pay Bun. I don't want your retainer. That's gross. No. I don't want that. I hate retainers. I never even wore mine. That's why my teeth are kind of jank because I just said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. You got it downloading? Okay, good, Tori. Good, Tori. Let me know when you're in. I want to add you as a friend. Although you'll probably be making a character for 10 years if I know anything about you. So, and I would say take your time with the character creator because you can't change some of that in game currently. So you're stuck with what you pick for a while. I don't know if they're going to change that. I don't think anybody knows. So I would err on the side of safety and make sure you're happy with your choice. Clothing, there is no clothing in game either unless you spend real money. So clothing you can change in game, but it'll just be the same options, just as a heads up. But you can change your clothing in game. You cannot change your skin tone and body type and facial feature. I am calling you out because I know you love character creation. You need to get my permanent retainer removed. It's the bane of my existence. Ugh. Ew, that sounds awful. I just went through so many years of braces and orthodontics, and the second that I moved away from home and no one was making me wear my retainer, I was like, yeah, fuck this. I did not even care. I was like, I don't even care if my teeth go back. I'm done. Okay. So for the fiber art thing, that's interesting. So it's a little bit similar with sewing. In the sewing, because I'm more in the sewing side of things, but it's a little different in the way that it's kind of the same, I think. And the thing is, I think of it a lot like buying a license. If you are buying a license for something, that's what buying a pattern is. So a good comparison, but maybe not better to understand for most folks, would be like buying a font license. If I want to use a specific font in my design, I will buy that font and I will have a license to use that font in my work that I will be selling. But I'm not selling the font itself. It's kind of like that in a lot of ways. You can't just mass produce the item and sell it, but you can use it to make work and designs for your customers. But it's way less clear when it comes to fiber art and using patterns, because is Moobs playing it right now and I can't even watch? I'm gonna cry, you guys. We might have to cut this stream short. Actually, we were probably gonna have to do that anyways, so that's okay, because my hand's actually really hurting. So, and we learned the hard way, friends, didn't we? Not to use my hands when they hurt. So we're actually probably gonna quit anyways, but I do want to quit right now and go play Palia. And I may just go play like with him. So did he finish, was he playing Delve? Is that what it was called? Curious to hear what he thinks of Palia. Very curious. Anyways, we're gonna try and get a little bit more done. My hand's doing okay, but I'm not gonna push myself. So if I have to stop here in 5 minutes, Dredge. Wait, what did I say? Delve? There's probably a game called Delve. Like caving. Sounds creepier, actually. So I'm not sure which is creepier now. I'm drawing her feather. Her hair feather is very like haphazard because I do want her to kind of look like, you know, like maybe she got run over a couple times. She's been through it, but she's like, I'm really letting it slow her down, you know? It's kind of the vibe I wanted. So we're just, and then it also kind of gives it like hair, long hair, which will help her look a little bit more feminine. I'm actually also going to remove this, kind of looked like a Adam's apple kind of chin thing, because I do want her to come across as a little bit more feminine. I wanted to play it, but it looked really creepy to me. Like I'm really scared of like underwater creatures. Like I think Kraken are cool, but like the idea of something that big being under the water and I can't like see it or grasp where it is terrifying to me. So I don't know if I would enjoy that game or if it would just give me like constant panic attacks. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I want to give it a try, even though I love fishing games. You guys know I love fishing games. So back to AI art, because I don't know how much longer I'll be able to go, and I do want to talk about this. The artist that I was watching, I found a really good video on YouTube. I can link it later in the Discord after the stream. He had artist friends that were using AI as a way of inspiring them to do an actual piece that they're going to do by hand. And I feel, honestly, after thinking about it, I do feel okay with the tools being used in such a way. I think there is still a problem with these tools using artists' work without crediting them, because the difference is, yes, I can go and look on the internet and be inspired by artists' work that I find on the internet via Google or Pinterest or what have you. But typically, as long as people are properly posting other people's art, and as long as artists are making sure to like sign their pieces, you can backtrack that to that artist and explore more of their work and follow them and give them support if you love them enough. AI is distilling their art into something that can no longer be traced back to them. So there is a difference. I think it is overall better to be inspired by other actual artists on the internet. That being said, this video had me interested to see how artists were using this, and I decided to try it last night after our episode. So I went out and I paid money, which I'm not proud of and I'm morally not okay with, but I wanted to know. I wanted to do my own research. I only paid for like a single month's worth, but I paid for, what is it called? Midjourney, to see how it works and see how people are using it, and to see, as an artist, do I find it useful as a tool? Do I find it better than just Googling art on the internet? What would I use it for? Will I use it again? And then to think on it ethically, how I feel about it. I have thoughts after playing with it for like several hours last night and not going to sleep like I should have. My initial thoughts were, holy crap, that's too easy to use to get those kind of results. Why are people acting like they did anything? People saying they're AI artists when all they did was type a single sentence. That's it. That's all you have to type is painting in the style of Miyazaki, blue sky, girl on beach. That's it. That'll put something out there for you. That's it. That's it. That's all the work you have to do. Now, a lot of people think the art comes in the editing, but I would say you're not an artist, you're an editor at that point. So what they're doing is they're editing that sentence and looking at the new results, or they're taking that and saying, try again, do another generation, or add a variation to it. They're not doing anything other than that which a good editor would do, in my opinion. So I still don't think that you should ever call yourself an AI artist unless you wrote the program yourself and got the art in a manner that is legal. Then maybe I could see that being a different conversation. Where's the nostril on my penguin's beak? Oh my gosh. Let's add that in here. That said, I did find an interesting use for it. And for me, I don't think I would use it to inspire my art. I'd rather go out there and look at artists I know I like and be inspired by their art. And I think having more powerful search engine tools using AI would actually be way better as an artist. I'd much rather be able to type that same sort of thing into an AI, and instead of it generating new art for me, it would say, it sounds like you're trying to create a piece that looks like this, but instead of showing you what we think it should look like, let me show you all of the reference photos that I think will help you. That would be interesting. Bye, Zeus. Thanks for stopping by. That I would find useful. So I have a piece that I've been working on in my brain mostly for a long time, and I still want to do this piece. I plan to do it on stream. I cannot figure out how I want to start this piece. It's the equivalent of writer's block, but for an artist in a lot of ways. Like, I know what I want to do, and I'm having trouble with like the initial like layout and what I want it to look like, right? And I haven't found anything to inspire me to get it just right. So that's why I said, you know what? I have this very specific problem. I'm having trouble solving it. I've been trying to solve it. Why don't I use this Midjourney and see if it helps? And so I did that last night, and I ran this prompt for this piece I've been wanting to do for a very long time through this AI and made adjustments to see if I could get it to be kind of like exactly what I wanted. And honestly, it gave me some interesting ideas, and I don't think I'm going to use any of them for this actual piece. So I don't even think it works that well as a tool for that. But if you're trying to think of like, I don't even have a general idea, I just want to throw some random ass words and see if the results inspire me to have an idea, I could see that working. But I think there's better ways to do that. Anyways, long story short, if that works for you as an artist, if that's what gets you inspired and gives you some cool ideas and gets you out of your box to look at something in a different way, I think that's only ever a positive. And I don't have any problems with that. I just want to make sure that the artists whose work is feeding that AI aren't getting ripped off. Meaning, I don't think people should be monetizing a tool that they didn't do any of the work for, right? When the AI gains sentience, we'll give it money. It's only a matter of time. So anyways, long story short, I don't think AI is inherently bad. I don't think generative AI is inherently bad. I think it depends on how you're building the AI, what you're feeding into it, and what you're doing with it when it comes out the other end. And again, real art, true art is transformative. It's a really good way to always return to that, and it's a really good like way to kind of mentally figure out how you feel about it. Anyways, I'm not even going to show you guys what I generated because while I think it's fascinating, I do want to finish that piece someday, and I don't want to even dwell on what I looked for because I don't think it's going to be visible in the final piece. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you like to see some like things while I still have my trial paid for? If anybody wants to see more or know more, I'm happy to share because I don't want more people paying for it, if that makes sense. And I can even show you how I might use it to do a piece of art, but doing that publicly does feel pretty weird to me, right? Because like the stream is monetized. So if I do that on stream, it feels like I'm kind of taking money out of another artist's mouth. But I also know that that's also just the world we live in. Like I buy clothes at Target, I'm paying into a system that underpays workers and benefits sweatshops. What do you do, right? I mean, that's Amazon. That's all of Amazon. So there's a really good episode of The Good Place, if you all have ever seen it, where they talk about this issue of like, there is no perfect moral, ethical path in life. There is none. You just need to do decisions that are right for you in the moment, and then just always try to do a little bit better as you learn, right? Do what works for you. No one should be feeling bad about it. Comparing my skill to the AI's. I mean, this AI skill is probably better than mine, to be honest, because the AI doesn't have to spend its life learning in a traditional sense. It can just learn how to draw things and instantly replicate them and then extrapolate from that, from thousands of paintings of that same thing, the best way to do it. So it's not really, I'm not as skilled as an AI, and I will never be as skilled as an AI. It's definitely not about skill. If it was just about skill, it's not even a conversation. We're all out of jobs. It doesn't really matter. There are many industries and jobs that have died because technology and machines had a higher skill than the artisans who were doing it before. That's kind of just life. That's how buttons look. Did I do that right? You'd think that me of all people by now would know how to draw like a 17th century coat by now. We're gonna have to stop soon. My hand is hurting. Yes, okay, yes, that's right, because it's the lining and you turn the sleeve back and then use the buttons to hold it back. Okay. Took me a minute. Good Place is a really good show. I actually didn't finish it. I need to finish it. Really good though. How many fingers do we think in here? Would it be 5? Actually, no. You have a 3D model for the pose that you've been looking for. Now taking a screenshot and putting that on paint to see the wiring of the model. Thanks. Anyways, I had fun playing with the tool, the AI, but I don't think I would ever post any of the results, and I honestly don't think any of them were as good as what I will be able to come up with in my brain. It's sort of if you're already picturing something, this tool is not really going to help you. If you're picturing something and you don't know a color palette, you could type the thing and then try different color palettes using the AI. That could work. Yeah, don't tell me. I do need to finish the ending. I think I'm on the last season. I just haven't quite finished it. super uneven, but you know what? I don't really care. I need to figure out what's going to be on her little like coin medallion here. Right. Don't worry, Village. I'm not giving her bird titties. I'm just drawing because birds have they do have a breast shape. That's why it's called chicken breast. Wait, Tori, are you playing Palia just because Moobs is playing it? You didn't want to play it because I was playing it? You just wanted to play it because Moobs was streaming it? I'm just kidding, Tori. Please don't feel bad. I know right now you're like, no! I'm just kidding, Tori. Tori's one of the nicest people ever, so sometimes it's fun to mess with her. She's the sweetest though. Tori, I'd do anything for you. I apologize. I owe you a sincere apology. Nikki is thinking of getting it. What? Palia? 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 I think it's Palia. I don't know. She should. It's fun. It's very much in beta, and I'm using the term beta very liberally. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm having fun. I can't stop playing it. They're doing something right. And I will say they've already started releasing patches and updates, and they're already changing a lot of things and fixing a lot of things and adding a lot of things, and that gives me a lot of hope. But okay, I'm feeling really good about this. We're really close to being done, but I might have to call it because I really don't want to hurt my hand again. But let's figure out that nostril situation. I did look it up. So they're kind of like... That's kind of closer to what we want for a one. And actually heard it would be more domed, but I think I'm okay with just leaving it for now and seeing how I feel. Finish this other sleeve and then we'll be really close to done. Enough to where I can probably just finish it easily later. I miss actual like cufflinks. Jackets were made with those in mind nowadays. I just think they look nice. Did I answer everyone's art questions? I think so. Anyone have any others? You went on the Switch. I went on the Switch too. I really want to sit on my couch and play it. I also want to get my tablet working for stream because I thought maybe we could do a cozy draw along stream where we all just get cozy and comfy and draw together. And I could read your all's comments on the TV while I'm sitting on my couch and drawing on my tablet. I just have to figure out how to like screen share the tablet. I was talking to Nina about this. There's ways to do it. So I just need to get that Gartic phone. That is not cozy or relaxing, but we could do that if you all want to. If you all want to do Gartic phone, we could do that. I have to think about it because I don't want to just let any rando join. So it'll kind of be people that have been in the community for at least like a decent amount of time, unfortunately. Just because I gotta make sure y'all aren't gonna just like draw a bunch of dicks on stream, you know what I mean? Please don't get me banned. But we could do like D&D themed. Like you'd have to be D&D themed. So, but it is fun. It is fun. Her index finger looks wonky. Yeah, I know. I don't like it at all. Thank you. For those that don't know, I don't really like backseat arting, but Village is my anatomy guru. You've only been subbed since last night. No, Chinner, you're fine. I know who's trustworthy and who's not. So I don't want anybody to feel left out, but it'll be one of those things where you'll have to have like pre-approval, and I'll probably ask you beforehand if you want to join. So, but I'll think about it. I'll think about it if that's something people would like to do. It's weird because I'm not drawing a hand. I'm drawing a bird claw doing a thing that a hand would do. This is not easy. I'm gonna have to not do this today. I'm gonna have to sleep on that. Anyways, we're probably gonna call it because my hand is starting to cramp up and I don't want to overdo it and actually injure myself again. The finger looks weird because you can see the fingernail bed. You mean on the finger that's flipping the coin? That's just because my lines got sloppy. Is that the one you mean? Well, right, but depending on how long they are, because if I twist my hand in, you can still see my nails, right? Yeah. I need a bird to pose for me. Anyone knows an Aarakocra? Let me know. But yeah, that's not happening tonight. I was hoping we could finish her tonight, but I'm not gonna push it. My hand is pretty bad. I'll probably just play some video games if anyone wants to join for some Polia, or if anybody's still doing some drawing, keep working on it. Share it in the Discord. I'll be around. If you want feedback, let me know. I'm happy to do so. I'd love to do a feedback stream someday of like share your art if you're comfortable with it being on stream, and we can like give you some feedback on how to like improve it. I don't know if that's something people would want. I would like to explore the idea and see how we could do it. I don't know. And if some people even like paint overs where you'll show me a thing and I'll do a quick paint over of like, I would do it like this. And I'm not going to give you the paint over, but I would show you like how to make it work. I've done that before for people too. And sometimes people like that because it can help. So it just depends. Depends what people would be interested in. But we're going to call it. We're going to raid Moobs because he's playing an awesome game and he's an awesome streamer who is also part of our D&D show on Friday. Just a friendly reminder, if you are new here, this is a D&D channel and we play D&D on Fridays. So please tune in on Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time and we'll, I think we're on Pirate Island. I think we're going to find a pirate treasure. So that's going to be exciting. And I don't know, maybe we'll run into this pirate captain here. So who knows? Anyways, I am gonna go. I'm gonna play some video games and relax. Some D-Anger guy. Oh my god, it was the best, E-Rock. Yes, and also a reminder, Captain E-Rock is back as our guest star next episode as well. So if you liked to meet his character, haven't met him yet, and you're curious, come hang out on Friday. Keep us company while we play D&D. We'll have a good time. And yeah, let's go show Moobs some love. Yeah.